In Mali, it is often said one finger cannot lift anything. Hello and welcome to it. You're watching #Africa. In the next 15 minutes, we'll be taking a comprehensive look at some of the stories that dominated headlines across the continent. I'm Duduzile Ramela. We start with some good news out of Ethiopia. Addis Ababa Airport has overtaken Dubai as the preferred stopover for long-haul passengers into Africa. Transfers to sub-Saharan Africa via Addis Ababa has increased by 85% between 2013 to 2017. Experts attribute this to a positive international response to the broad reforms introduced by Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. In Madagascar, a second round of elections will take place on the 19th of December. The country has adopted a two-round system since there was no outright winner during the first round of elections. Former President Marc Ravalomanana, who resigned following the political crisis in 2009, and his successor, Andry Rajoelina, are going head-to-head in this election. The current president got the least amount of votes in the first round this month and will not take part in the upcoming election. He approached the courts to have the vote cancelled, but his request was rejected. In Kenya, 3 men from the China Road and Bridge Corporation have been arrested in connection with ticket scams and bribery. In May last year, a new Kenyan railway was opened, slashing travel time from the capital, Nairobi, to Mombasa down from 12 hours to 4 hours. It was funded by the Chinese company. The men are accused of attempting to bribe Kenyan officials investigating the case. In our book feature this week, Saffron is a collection of personal narratives by Muslim women. It's put together by Zahira Jenner. It draws on the lived realities of Muslim women, from food and cooking, hardship and conflict, intimacy, baby making, children living with in-laws, and self-esteem, serving as a reminder to other women that they are not alone on their journey. I sat down with Wasila Jassat, one of the contributors of the book, for a chat with help from African Perspectives Publishing. Wasila, we always hear from other women, but we've never really heard the voice of Muslim women. And I guess this book was just so difficult to put down because you were led into a different world.
I think we experience a lot of stereotyping. There's probably an image people have of the hijabi, oppressed woman, you know. And I think in today's time, people are beginning to break through those barriers and seeing beyond those stereotypes. I mean, Muslim women are like any other women and have similar dreams and aspirations, have similar challenges. But it is true that our religious code kind of lends itself to us feeling, us embracing the fact that we are more modest, that we are more modest in our dressing and in our actions and in our kind of relationship with God. But that's often interpreted as oppression. But I'm completely comfortable in my spirituality and in my professional sort of ambition and in my life at home and in my broader social circle. I don't feel those things are conflictual. So I'm glad that we're able to share that and hopefully shed light on, you know, the diversity in even this group of Muslim women.
Overall, Saffron, a collection of personal narratives by Muslim women. The first thing you get is that we always think that we're so different, but there's so much that connects us, and there's so much that we have in common than we have apart. Why was it important that you actually detailed your journey in this book?
I mean, I was conflicted about doing it. I had anxiety about sharing a very deep, personal, you know, narrative with the broader world. But I thought it was a story that needed to be told, especially because, like you say, you know, we have a common narrative with so many people around us, even transcending, in our own communities. And I thought it was a story worth sharing because it may be something positive for others who are in similar circumstances. Having detailed my journey after divorce, I had the chance to look back in writing this chapter and to reflect on my lessons, to look back and see the strength and the resilience that's carried me through this journey. And I thought that was worth sharing with others, for them to take comfort from, or to see a different perspective, or gain some understanding of a woman's journey.
Indeed. And the narrative that we hear, I can tell you from a black girl's perspective, is that you don't leave. And to see you detail this, and in such a sensitive manner as well. What was that journey like for you?
I mean, even in the Muslim community, there's a common perception that it's even a sin to divorce, or it's absolutely the last resort. And you hear of so many suffering women. The clergy like to say, there's a particular word, sabr, have patience, you know, in your circumstances. And women stay in all forms of abuse for too long, you know. I can tell a different story. I can tell a story of being strong enough to leave, having a receptive, supportive, non-judgmental family and friends structure to welcome me and kind of, you know, help me to support me through that journey. And I thought that's quite a unique story in this community, because I still hear of the other side. I still hear of a lot of shaming and a lot of stigma that women who are divorced do face.
Let's talk about your family walking in. Your mom is here even now to support you. What has that meant, or what has that done for you?
You know, whatever you go through, knowing that there's a backup, you know, and that's how our community does it. For all the negative things in community, I must say in our community, there's a sense of, you know, a tribe. There's a sense of we've got you, you know. And so certainly within my family, my close family, my extended family, and my circle of friends, I've always experienced the kind of embracing warmth and nurturing, celebration of things that go well, supportive when things don't go so well. And I think it really is the reason why I was able to be positive and push through whatever I had to experience in life. I talk in my chapter about, you know, women needing a tribe, that group of kind of unquestioning loyalty, you know, that support you, that are there for you. I think that's the reason why we are able to overcome adversity. And I also see that the women I know who are at risk, who are vulnerable, are ones that don't have those connections or don't nurture as strong connections with others.
And I'd like us to talk to those women. There's also chapters in the book where some women detail the women who go under excruciating circumstances under the hands of militant groups, especially in West Africa, Boko Harams and the likes. Your message to Muslim women who are seeing you, who are just saying, she walked away, maybe I could too.
Yeah, I never thought of myself as a poster child for anything, you know. But I am a product of this community. I am a product of this group, and our lived reality is different, and it's different based not only on the people around us, but also on our own mindset and approach. And all of us have the capacity in us to find that resilience, to find that extra mile, that extra day to get up and go, you know. And I think when you're stuck in it, when you're stuck with the emotional trauma, you often can't see your way out of it, you know. And maybe that's where books and writing and narratives are so important. They help you to see a vision of what your life could be.
Outside of being a mother, outside of being a Muslim woman, outside of being everything that you are labeled to be, you are a human being, a woman who feels, who goes through emotions, who has been through this journey. When you reflect on your journey, what would you say the biggest lesson for you has been?
I think to always believe in your capacity to survive is important. I mean, in this day and age, you hear people turning to drugs and suicide, and you know, the rates of depression are sky high. The world is cruel, and people are going to knock you down. And I think the thing that serves you is to always believe in your own capacity. And I write about me not being too hard on myself. I'm very forgiving of myself. Very kind of, you know, I don't put pressure on myself to be anything more than what I am. I believe it's completely okay to live an ordinary life, you know. I don't try to aspire to be perfect in any way and to compare myself to picture perfect kind of women that you see in social media. So I think it's important to kind of think about what values serve you. I'm very clear on what my priorities are in life and where my effort should go and who my energy should go to and where my time should be spent. I think we are easily swept into this world of kind of trying to be everything for everyone, and we often can't say no. And I think when I turned 40, I came into myself more. I stopped kind of looking to do everything. And I say that, you know, that FOMO, fear of missing out, was something I just left in my past. And I embraced where I am, and I'm kind of quite comfortable in where I am right now.
Wasila Jassat is a contributor in a book called Saffron, a collection of personal narratives by Muslim women. Right, do stay with us. When we return, we'll bring you the latest news from Nigeria as the country gears up for elections in February. More on that in a moment.